Hey everyone, my name is Katie Robertson. I'm the founder and director for the Anchor Gathering, and this is the Anchor Moment, and I want to tell you a little bit about what that is. It's a time we get to hear from a guest a little bit about their life, their faith journey, and an anchor moment. And that is a time that someone has had their faith grounded and they've seen Jesus for real in their lives. So we are so excited at this time you get to hear firsthand a personal story from one of our guests, and we hope that you'll be encouraged.
Hi, my name is Angela. My friends and family usually call me Ange or Angie. I have been married to my best friend and husband, Joshua, for 13 years, 14 in September, and I did have to double check that with him this morning. And then I have 2 children. Peyton is 11, my daughter, and she's in 6th grade. And Jagger is 7. He's in 1st grade. We live in Duval, and we just absolutely love raising our family there. So my faith journey started when I was young. I grew up in a Christian home and went to church every week, but the biggest impact on my faith was my amazing mother. She modeled what it was like to not only be a Christian, but to love Jesus and love people and be a follower of Jesus. It did take me some years, and if I'm being honest, more than I would like to actually build that own relationship with Jesus on my own and with God. But the good news is that God is patient, and we see that time and time throughout the Bible. I still fail at following Jesus' example, but God is always there to pick me back up and set me on the right path. So I do most things for time. If you are a CrossFitter or like working out or anything, you kind of maybe understand what I mean. My family will sit down for a meal and we eat for time, not even like trying to. That's just kind of how we roll. But I quickly realized that my faith is not something that can be rushed for time. God uses my failures, my missteps, and my trials to strengthen my relationship with Him and build my walk with Jesus. So one of those trials I experienced is going to be my anchor moment that I share with you guys today. On April 10th, it'll be the 2nd year anniversary of my dad passing. He died very unexpectedly. I spoke with him on Friday, and by Sunday, he was gone. So unfortunately, I have dealt with losing a parent before. We lost my mom to cancer in 2013. So both deaths were harder than I have words to even express. But there is something so raw and just unimaginable when the death is so unexpected like that. Not only had I lost my dad, but my kid's papa, and then also my employer. So I had worked for my dad for 9 years. He was an architect. He was the only architect, and then we had a draftsman, and then an engineer, and then me. I was kind of his everything. I was executive assistant, his office manager, his website manager, just kind of all of it. And if you've ever worked in a family business, you might kind of understand what I mean when you kind of do it all. So I immediately became the CEO because we had like 50 open projects, which I don't know if you know anything about building or designing homes, but that's a lot. So after his passing, my life just felt like it was turned upside down, and I just felt like I was in despair. So I recall the morning after receiving the news, woke up to do a workout because that's what I do every morning, and I just was kind of in pilot mode and just needed something normal. But as soon as I got into the garage to do my workout, I just immediately collapsed to the ground, and I was weeping and calling out to God, just telling Him I couldn't do this on my own, and I needed Him, and I needed Him close to me. So fast forward almost 2 years later, like I said, in April, and although that first year was undoubtedly the hardest year of my life. It's also when I have felt the closest to God, and it's when my walk with Jesus grew the most. Because I was so raw, I opened up every aspect of my life to Jesus, and he showed himself again and again, whether it was through people he put in my life or opportunities. And one of those beautiful opportunities was being able to lead a core group in CBS. This is something I would have never been able to say yes to before because of my position with my dad. I'm now able to find joy and peace even through the hardest days. And this is the kind of peace that only God can provide. One of my favorite verses speaking to this is Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious about anything, but in everything by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. This was Peter writing to the people of Philippi from his prison cell. He knows a thing or two about being in the midst of a trial. This verse just shows me that joy and peace are not based on my circumstances, but being close to God and following Jesus.